Hello, I'm Dr. Katherine Horton. I thought I'll make a quick question time video answering all the questions that people posted on the Richie Allen Show YouTube channel in response to my interview, because I thought a lot of the comments were really, really good, really helpful and very interesting. And also the critical ones are very, very good. And I just want to go through and answer every single one of your questions. You know, I also, by the way, I've posted just recently, or this afternoon, a video about who I am. So if people want to know more details, about my bio and what the hell I've been doing since I left Oxford, it's all there. There's a short description, and you can find out what I'm doing now and so on. So you know who I am. But also, one of the things I noticed is that, where's the video? Sorry, I'm just clicking around here. On the video, as it is now, just at 9 o'clock on the 7th of December, under the video who I am, I can only see one comment, and it's actually, I had to, the name seems to be in Russian, or the name of the channel, and then what has been commented is actually in Romanian, and I had to use Google Translate, because even though I was born in Romania and my early childhood was in Romania, I don't actually speak any Romanian, so I'm a Hungarian from Romania. And I googled it, and it just says, I think in Romanian it means you're pretty, and pretty, you're pretty was one of the harassment triggers that was used a lot in the beginning. So thank you for the compliment if this is a genuine person, but I rather suspect this is GCHQ or MI6, and in that case, do something useful with your life, will you? So anyway, now to the questions on the Richie Allen Show. By the way, one of the questions I have to you is, why are some comments edited and by whom? Because when I first saw them on the Richie Allen YouTube channel, I thought it's the person who owns the YouTube channel, and I thought, oh, Richie Allen edited them. But they also edited on my channel, and I haven't touched the comments. I want to see the full comments, and especially one which actually states which frequencies are used in the assaults are edited. Now this has been done by YouTube, because I haven't touched these comments. So whoever posted those frequencies, can you post them again if maybe it got edited out what you wanted to say to me, please? Anybody, I think it's, I have to look up which account that was, but please post them again. I'm totally against editing anything, so anything has to be public, out there, and transparent. If it has been removed by YouTube, email it to me at contact@stop007.org. Just email it to me and keep posting it to me until you get through. So I don't know what the edited comments are. So I'm just reading the comments as they appear online, to my browser. And I'm gonna go chronologically. So I think I've got this right now. Let me check. So I'm set to, oh, hang on. It changed back to top comments. Newest first. So I'm going to go from the bottom up. The comments. And as I said, they were very good ones. So the very first one, oh God, there's a lot of comments now. Give me a second. Sorry, I just realized. Okay, here it is. So Steve Wide Awake says, so there must have been hundreds involved in the surveillance to place a different agent every day for one person, or is she paranoid? That's a very good question, and a lot of the victims do get this. They will say, it's even in part, by the way, I wrote a huge bunch of FAQ, which I'm going to post online, okay? And one of the questions I answer in detail is, why would they use, everybody gets that. It's question number 9 on my FAQ. Why would they use so many people just for you? And in a sense, it's not just for me. That's the thing. So that's what I tried to get across on the Richie Allen Show, but there was no time. I think it's a system run out of control. It has nothing to do with me. I just got placed on a list, like many others, and then they do whatever they want. They train trainee spies up, using your life as a prop, or they do human experiments on you, or they just harass you for fun because some, handlers got placed on the case, and they don't really want to be placed on a case where they have to, harass or survey someone actually dangerous, so they rather keep quiet about the fact that I haven't done anything, and all these effects play in. But I think the main thing now is weapon testing on my body, so they don't care what sort of intellectual stuff I can give you guys or the world. They only care about my body as human matter to shoot, these electromagnetic guns in and test at what point my kidney will break. That's the sad truth. This is just how little we matter to these people. you know. And so there are hundreds, so there are hundreds of people, thousands of people even. And why are there so many? Simple. In Germany, hang on, I'll show you the book. It's around here on my shelf. Because I bought this book when I lived in Germany to do my tax return. You can see it's all these things, you know, and I made notes in it. And when you do your tax return in Germany, this is a famous one because you either pay somebody to do your tax return or you buy this book. And then you do it yourself. And I thought, I'm an academic, I'm going to do it myself. And then I read all this book and I had to fill in the form and I got so confused. In the end, I paid someone anyway. But if you go to page 60, and you can see I marked this, page 60 on the 2011 and 2012 edition, because that's when we lived in Germany, you will find something that in German is called Spitzelsteuer, or Spitzelsteuersatz. It's ironically named, you know, that by, I think, Mr. Konz, Franz Konz, who writes this book, which is an absolute bestseller. I think it's like, not sure if it's a bigger bestseller than the Bible, but in Germany, you know, so many people buy it every year over and over. And this is now the, I don't know which edition, like the 24th edition or the 105th. So, what is the Spitzelsteuer? That's the tax rate you pay if you become an informant in Germany. Okay, and what's the tax rate? It's 10%. It's 10%. So if you become an informant in Germany, you will only henceforth, you know, pay only 10%. And this applies to, I think, pretty much everybody. So, you know, anybody who works for the police as an informant, for the intelligence agencies. And this is in a country where the bottom tax rate is already, you know, twice that for most people at least. 23%, and then, you know, it's like a sliding scale, and it goes up to 45 or 43, I can't remember, but, you know, it goes up to a lot. So if you're paying 40% and you could take it down to 10 by becoming an informant, would you do that? I think the answer for the vast majority of people is yes. So if you've got a system like that, it's going to recruit more people, and once you've heard about this, you would want to become an informant, right? That's the way to save tax. But then what happens when you've become an informant? At some point, you know, you will be called upon, and then you're on a list and anybody can call you. And then to keep this tax rate, would you, if you got a call from somebody or a text message that says, please, could you follow this woman for 500 meters? She's just walking past your office. Can you go out for a smoke and tell me where she's going? Would you do that? And this person only walks past your office once, and you keep your tax rate for the entire year. Would you do that? I think the answer is yes, right? And you would not ask any questions who the hell this woman was. You would just trust the person who instructs you that this person really is to be observed and it's for, you know, proper reasons. And that's how it works. So these people are not there for me. They're not there for any one individual person. These people proliferate everywhere because of systems like that gives massive tax advantages to becoming an informant. So what you're essentially creating is a society of informants that silently grows up and proliferates, and no one, I don't think even the government know how big this system is by now. I think only the people in the German tax revenue office, and even there only at the top, might have a hint, an inkling. Otherwise, the people in the local office might know the local people on this tax rate, but not everybody on this tax rate. So only where the databases get pulled together, and the databases are typically handled by big corporations, right, and their IT teams, only they know how many informants Germany actually has. What if 30% of people turned out to be informants? There you go, you know. You see, so it's the other way around. You have to think in terms of systems, like top down. They become bigger and bigger and bigger. And once you're a lowly little victim, it feels like, oh my God, suddenly there are thousands of people out to get you. No, it's just thousands of people who've got this beneficial tax rate, who've been, you know, sent a text message by some central computer or by, you know, a central handler who can just ping whoever is nearest. They know where the phones are of their informants. They, you know, can ping whoever is along your path, and they go out for a smoke, watch you for some time, and then go back in. So the computer softwares are now there for us to do that. So I think this is how it is. And once people understand this, you know, you will understand all the victims, you know. And I'm not paranoid. I never had any mental health issues, but I'm a systems analyst, and I think this is how it is, actually this way around. And yes, you're right, there are thousands of people. And then the comment is, half the journalists are Zionist Masons. I'm not sure about the Masons, but there was a guy called, so this is now the Jolly Copwatch user. There's a German journalist who was actually, I think, even an editor of Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung, a really big, it's like being the editor of, the Times or the Telegraph. And he went public and he said most of the really renowned journalists take instructions from the CIA. I think he mentioned the CIA specifically, but personally I would expect that they take instructions from any intelligence agency. I mean, most of the time they can't tell who the handler works for. So I would say it should be read as they take instructions from intelligence agencies, not just the CIA. It's not always just the CIA. They're not responsible for everything in the world, although for a lot. Now, Courtney the longest said, they are dirty people. I've been in the same boat since 2012. Well, I can't tell you how sorry I am to hear that, because that means for 4 years you've lived this terror, And then he continues to say, an hour later, I called the city council to start a petition and say I know what is happening. 2 days later, my likeness was on the news as a child abductor. Oh my God. So, Courtney, here, buy a logbook and write everything down, okay? And make an evidence file, Buy a big black logbook, A4, whatever suits you. Write a date every day, and write down what happens to you. This flushes it out of your mind, so it's not running around by the time you're going to bed because it's there. But also photograph the pages regularly, so that you've got a backup copy should someone steal the stuff from you. Or photocopy them and put photocopies in another place. Put evidence in a bank safe, and also maybe have a cloud service that you trust that's encrypted, where you can just place it there as a backup copy, so that you have it in many places, and make a file. Make a file and now start thinking like a detective or like a lawyer presenting a case, okay? Because this stuff happening to you is not okay, and we will bring them to justice. And even complicated stuff that's hard to prove, like, pulsed shots to a body or gang stalking, we can prove it eventually, okay? So don't despair. Stay in touch, please. And then one last thing that occurred to me about the news. If with the news you mean in the newspaper, of course, make photocopies, keep that stuff. You've got evidence, it's libel. If it was news on the channel, request the tapes from the broadcasting service. If you get the tapes and it doesn't show your face, don't assume necessarily that they manipulated it to screw your evidence. Then in that case, it could have been that the broadcast you saw was essentially a doctored one that was broadcast just to your device, okay? And then you have to kind of network with people and find out what version they saw. Maybe call a friend, if this stuff happens again, call a friend and say, did you just see me on the news? Or somebody, did you actually just see me? Cross-check. And then you can find out if your TV set was manipulated or someone else's. But either way, if you know somebody who repairs TVs, maybe go and have your device checked. Maybe something was implanted. But I think these days they can change it in different ways by just broadcasting, sending different stuff along your cable, if you know what I mean, because it's all computer systems. With radios, like standalone radios that are just connected to the power, they have manipulated my radio so that, I think in one program, the person had my name, it was featured, and this radio program was broadcast exactly when my husband and I had a conversation, and it was kind of intended to disconcert me. I'm arguing with my husband. In the meantime, oh my God, I can hear my name on the radio, right? I couldn't give a damn. If I'm having an argument with my husband, I'm out to get the bastard, So I don't get disconcerted about hearing my name, but they do play these games, and they're MI6 whistleblowers who've gone public. And they have talked to Philip Kerr, who brought it back to me that, yes, whistleblower agents have confirmed it to him that they do manipulate radios and stuff like that. But then your device broadcasts this, and everybody else around you in other homes has got something else. Here's something else, so it might be much more targeted at you. They might have taken a broadcast and then overlaid your picture, That's can be done fairly quickly. So your device might have had like a 5-minute delay or something, and because these people have connections, they know what's going to be broadcast. It's easy to do. So don't despair and don't think the entire village has seen this now. If they have, that's libel and you can go and get them, but it might be that it was just you who saw that, and then it was just disconcertment theatre, and they would be shit scared about libel. Do you see? And then you can just ask people, don't be afraid, and say, did I just imagine it, or was I on that picture, you know? And just tell people what's going on and show them this video. Here, it's now certified, okay? I claim the same thing. Yes, this shit happens. Philip Kerr, who's got this court case in the UK, you can also refer people to that. The court reference is square brackets 2015 EWHC 934 smooth brackets QB, and QB stands for Queen's Bench Division. That's a UK court case. If you're in the UK, you can look this up. It was called Philip Kerr versus Attorney General, and that's the guy who I talked to. His court case was heard February 2015 in the UK High Court. So these things do exist, and it's that man I talked to who had the court case who told me about the MI6 whistleblower who said, yes, they manipulate, you know, radios in your home, your car radio, and then they play you pre-recorded things. And the intelligence agencies who are swimming in money, they all just, you know, hire DJs to put on fake shows. And God, I mean, with this effort, if they would just do some sensible stuff, we wouldn't have problems in our life, right? I mean, we have to reverse these intelligence agencies to do what they should be doing, because they would be just like, you know, like a house on fire, you know, yay, go guys, go. But instead, you know, they send me little harassment messages. I mean, good job, you know, good job GCHQ has got time to be on freaking YouTube at work. I mean, that, you know, is nice. Good, so, going on. There's one comment from Joachim Meier, but she cannot get it straight. Maybe she's some sort of high-ranking soul. She's too left-brained as a scientist. What does it mean she can't get it straight? I don't know. Have I been confused? You know, I'm shot in the head so often. If I get confused, I'm not surprised. But yeah. Oh, here, Uppercut asks, Richie, can you find out what her opinion is on cold fusion? Brian Cox, that other corporate shill, won't answer. No surprise there. The Ponce just rants at people rather than give an informative reply. The cock is a fake, by the way. In David's video, Richie, you will no doubt come across some content covering education. Maybe you should look at a few and try to get a better understanding of what he's trying to say before that you praise someone who has the privilege of having a private education. Personally, I would trade my rubber stamp piece of paper for wisdom at the drop of a hat. Okay. My opinion on cold fusion, I have not the slightest, foggiest clue about cold fusion. I wish I had. What I have heard, but I haven't had time to check, because I'm not into fusion, I'm a particle physicist. I'm into high energy physics, which is smashing particles together, but not the difficult bit about fusion, as I understand it, is to, you know, keep it going. So I've been in the year 1999, I've been at a research institution as a school student. Back then in 1999, I was still a school student, and I was just finishing school. And I went to the research site called Jülich, and I know, because, you know, big eyes, I was really amazed because they were trying to achieve fusion back in 1999, and the guy there told me that they managed to sustain it for a couple of seconds, but the real problem is to ignite it. That was like fusion with a tomahawk or whatever it's called, these like, you know, donut shaped, you know, whatever plasma things. But you're talking about something else. So that's all I know about fusion, okay? That's all I know about fusion, about actual progress into fusion. Cold fusion, I haven't got the foggiest clue. And I think if you have got reliable sources, please find them. You know, all of you have to become crawler bots on the internet and try to piece pieces together. And if you're really interested, go and talk to physicists and get in touch with them until they explain the stuff to you. And you know where to find this information, because the problem is people in academia, even if the people who work on fusion, if they have not been given access to classified stuff, then it will take them a lifetime to actually develop it themselves, you see. I mean, because people who might have developed it probably spent a lifetime and worked with thousands of scientists, you see. So that's the real issue. But if you find a source somewhere online that seems credible, because someone leaked something or people start to put stuff out, take it to a physicist and slowly, you know, inch your way there. I have no idea about cold fusion. I wish I would have heard that people rumor that, oh yes, and it's possible, and it could be possible, you know, but I don't know, and I'm really scared to say anything because I don't really know what the current status is in this field, you see. It's like, it's a bit like asking a heart surgeon, a cardiologist, about some new thing in neurology, you know, or brain surgery. He would be scared to say something if he doesn't know, because it's not his field, you know. And that's basically it. We physicists sound like all the same, but we're not, you know. We all have our different niches, and I used to work on something very specialized, and only now am I broadening my, you know, my what's it called, focus, or, you know, whatever. So too left-brained as a scientist, I don't know, because there were a lot of very like left and right-brained people where I used to work. Okay, does it go through lead? No, it doesn't. It shouldn't. It shouldn't go through lead if there's enough of it. But the problem with lead is it's toxic and it's heavy. And handling lead is not very good. What I'm doing here with aluminium foil is already bad, because aluminium is really toxic, and I'm breathing in this nonsense behind me. I need to put this like plastic foil that I put here on this cellophane or whatever it's called. But I just ran out of that stuff, and then I got so busy trying to save my life and try to do court cases and so on that I never actually went back and, you know, repaired this, but I should do it. So, but if you're referring to the fact that your house might have lead lining on top, I think that should be fine. That's really good. But I wouldn't recommend you start putting lead around your face, or, you know, somewhere close to your bed so that you can sleep, because it's toxic. That stuff is really toxic. You shouldn't be close to it and keep breathing it in. And the other thing is, and also if you're thinking about your house roof, well, if the thing is that your house roof has got lead lining and you still get irradiated, it very well could be coming from neighboring homes, because they do put out this thing that it's all just satellites and you can't do anything. Well, in my experience, I'm being shot in the face horizontally sometimes, you know, and in places where, you know, if I'm leaning somewhere, I'm shot in the side, but not in my arm. So it's very hard to tell, but I would suspect that actually they've got several transmitters here and nearby houses, and they just shoot from there. And I wouldn't recommend you put lead lining on, you know, your bedroom wall or something like that. I would recommend buy this stuff because it's cheap, and put cellophane around it so that you don't breathe in aluminium dust. Okay, next question. Okay, contact Simon Parks. Thank you, Leigh Walton. I shall. Thank you for all the references, actually. When people say contact this person, contact that person, please, thank you. That's so valuable, because I sometimes haven't thought about them, or I don't even know about them. Okay, I'm still learning. So please keep it coming. Anything. And that's basically what I really need from you. Tips of, oh, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Get in touch. And even if you know the person, if you can tell them about me and give your personal opinion as a personal reference, because maybe you liked what I said, or think there would be I could explain something better, then that really helps, because people go by personal references. They trust them a lot more than other stuff. So if you know these people, I will get in touch with all the people you recommend, and maybe ask them to email me at contact@stopwo7.org. And then I'll reply, and I take it further, because I do want to go out there. Yes, all the people who say that I should get out, yes, that's true. And then, yes, people mentioned the people in Aleppo. Yeah, that is actually horrible. And this is actually people, I think Richie asked me, how do I keep going when these things happen? It's by thinking about all the people who I know who have died. You know, some people have fought for this, to bring this to the public. For example, Dr Rauni Kilde, she was the chief medical officer of Finland, or for Lapland in Finland. And you know, she has been murdered with these weapons, and I think about her, and I think about all the traumatized children in Aleppo, you know, who had sometimes their family killed in front of their eyes, and you know, what do they deal with, and their horrific war injuries. You know, they have lost limbs, these kids. You know, they had stuff shot into their eyes. How do they deal with it? The truth is we have to stop these killing bastards in the military intelligence complex, because they kill us all. They kill people in other countries, and we didn't get our arse into gear, basically. That is what it is, you know, because we should have hammered these people down as soon as they invaded the first country, but we did not. And now look, now they're killing us, you know. That's basically it. So we're paying the price for not having gotten into action earlier. Now, there's again a comment. I wonder what Barry Trow would make of this story. And it's edited again. Was there anything else? Go back to your comments, and if they flash up as edited, then, you know, please send it again. And then it's Mark says, could they be targeting unborn children with an objective of remote sterilization or termination of the unborn child? It's in keeping with their general population control agenda. And Targeted Individual Ireland said, Mark, I'm a targeted individual. Yes, they attack unborn children, pregnant women. It's a horrific program. I think that's true. And as I mentioned on Richie's show, I have found a leaked document, which I should put up online, and I shall, and I will tweet the link, which was essentially exactly that. You know, people saying, oh, we want more data on fetuses, and we only have cadavers. And, oh, we should get in touch with the data collection community. Well, guess who that might be, to get more data. Essentially, yeah, that is it. And what we have to do is say, first of all, make a list of all the things that people would want to do, and then you can be pretty sure that they are doing it, and then really get on the case. Because right now, as we speak, there are pregnant women being irradiated who maybe don't even feel it, because to damage a fetus, you can use a lot less radiation, right? And it's not just sterilization, it's literally just make your fetus be mentally disabled. And what they want is for us to be just mentally disabled and on benefits, and they're the gods. But these idiots forget that we are the ones who are essentially their supply chain for their mega corporations. And they need every one of us, because up at the top, they don't know. We look like nothing to them, but some of us have got really detailed expertise that makes things work. You know, so we need each other. And sometimes the person who looks like absolute nothing is the person who's got some absolute like niche knowledge, because he goes into a factory and he knows exactly how to mix stuff together to make, you know, as I said on the show, aeroplanes stay up in the air, you know? I mean, we need all those people, and we can't, if they think, oh yeah, let's just make all the children, like 70% of these children, stupid and die within, you know, a year. These idiots don't realize that their ginormous systems rely on a massive base, a really ginormous base of thousands of companies and hundreds of thousands of companies with their own supply chains, all employing people, and these people have to be replaced. So if you now make a cut of 70% of your base, and these people think, oh, we will make a list, you know, they've got these big databases where everybody is in it, and they control the databases. And they say, we'll go through the database, and everybody who's useful, we will keep, and everybody who isn't, who's unemployed now, we can kill off. Well, this is not how it works, guys, because you don't realize that your ginormous corporations, at the very bottom, people get replaced. And people who are now on work will, for some reason, you know, want to get out, and they naturally get replaced with people who are now unemployed. If you kill off the people who are now unemployed, they will not be replacing the person in 5 years' time. You will have a massive hole. And then they think, oh yeah, but then other people will replace them. No, this is not how it works. I'm telling you, as a systems analyst, you never know. Even when a person is on drugs and is sleeping under a bridge now and is homeless and has got mental health issues because of all the things that happened to him, you still don't know if he is not going to turn out to be your crack genius in 8 years' time. And I'm not making this stuff up, because you never give up on people, because I have seen it over and over and over. You repair people. And then they surprise you, and they will be the absolute amazing superstars of tomorrow. So it doesn't matter what's wrong with you. If you're on drugs, if you're sleeping under a bridge, if you failed your education, or you're dropped out of your career, or your leg has been blown off in war, it doesn't matter. Forget about your leg. This is not what you're about. You know, I'm sorry, of course these injuries are horrific, but if you let yourself be defined by your problems, you're not getting what you're about. You're much more than that. And you keep going. Whatever you have, as long as you're breathing, as long as you've got a heartbeat, you keep going. Do you understand? And And it's because of this replacement, the natural replacement, the turnaround, the churn of people going in and out of even the supply chains to these megacorps, that all of us are valuable. Because these people take a snapshot in their minds of what they think their corporation looks like. And hey, we know how CEOs think that their corporation looks like. How truthful is that image? I mean, no, it's like, you know, a cartoon image of real life. And then they think, oh yeah, we can pick the people who are not useful. No, sorry, the maths doesn't bear that out. The math says we don't know who's useful today to start with, and we most certainly don't know who will be the person we will absolutely crucially rely on in 5 years' time. That's the truth. Do you see? So sterilizing people, aborting people, giving fetuses brain damage, you don't know if you're not killing off the next your star employee, which gonna create for you the next Google or the next whatever. You know, you don't know, you idiots, because the kid's not even born. And they think, oh yeah, but there's so many people around, and this is how these people think. It's like, God, you know, I mean, you can sympathize with this misunderstanding, this fallacy, if you try to walk down Oxford Street on a Saturday afternoon. You will come to the conclusion that the world is full of people and we don't need any more people. So I can understand why someone maybe in their later years in life, when people tend to get very impatient with the world, you know, I mean, everybody, you know, that's just what it's like getting older. I understand how people can reach that conclusion, and the fact that at some point in weaker moments they might think, why don't we just kill everybody? I think by the end, if you reach the end of Oxford Street, there will be moments where you think the same, right? But don't give in to that, okay? Because the real truth is we've got these super complex systems, and the amount of information you'd have to take in at the top to understand, you know, sorry, I'm going out of the picture, to understand how your ginormous pyramid actually functions in the crucial bits in the middle and at the bottom and left, right and center is too much for you to take in as the normal CEO. And if you're now Mr. Global in charge of, you know, World Inc., whoa, you would have to rely on a computer program, and I really wouldn't. I'm someone who worked with computer programs a lot of the time, and the last thing I'm going to rely on is a computer program, not even the one I've written myself, let alone, you know, one written by someone else. So much about that. Anyway, I'll truncate this video and I'll make shorter videos, so all the other comments will be answered in the next video. Bye for now.